Why, yes. Welcome back to Treasure Theory After Dark. I'm your host, Jordan, and none of that is relevant because this video is going to be uploaded at like probably 4 p.m. tomorrow, so, I don't even know why I did that intro. But anyways, guys, welcome back to another One Piece Market Watch. Guys, One Piece Market Watches are the best way to know what people are buying, what they're selling, and what you should be considering for your next investment or collection. Which is why you need to stick around because, guys, we've got some interesting cards that are being bought up. Quite frankly, a lot of cards that I have not seen bought before, so that's going to be super exciting. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. My birthday's soon, so I'd appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel. I'm also drinking some anime girl thighs right now. GamerSup sent me a brand new shirt, so I'm rocking the merch and I'm drinking the good stuff, guys. What are you doing if you're not drinking some anime girl thighs when you're watching a Treasure Theory video? Nobody needs to know, okay? Anyways, click the link down in the description below. Use code POPPERTHEORY. You know the rest, okay? Not any further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, starting off with a banger, we have got a Vivi top prize, a Treasure Cup card from 2024, and just look how incredible this card looks. I mean, Vivi is looking stunning in this photo. We got the Championship 2024 stamp, which is awesome, and you guys know I'm a huge advocate for the Treasure Cup cards in the One Piece TCG, and if you take a look here, we can see that it is from 2024. Now, guys, here's the thing. As time goes on, these cards are going to get more and more priceless. I mean, let's be really honest. Look at the pop count, it's super low anyways. As new championships continue, we're actually about to enter into a new one right now. I just saw the cards for it and they look pretty swell. We got an NL and Nami and Bonnie card, I think, for the Treasure Cup cards, but they're incredibly low print, right? I mean, not that many people won these cards. So definitely super cool to see. Sold for $3,151 USD, not too bad. And it was through bidding as well, so definitely interesting to see that. I have not seen a Vivi in a while. All right, moving on to the next card, guys. We have got, and this is insane, this sold for $5,000, this Nami Event Pack Finalist card. Holy crap, I've got this and the Zoro in my binder, but it's insane to see how expensive this card has gotten. I mean, granted, it is Nami, but wow, I mean, $5,000 USD. Again, lots of bids, but I mean, the PSA count is insane. I mean, wow. Okay, guys, let's move on. This card is stunning, guys. This is the Sabo SP from OP15, the latest set, and guys, this card is absolutely stunning. And strangely enough, the pop count for PSA in general is super low. I mean, granted, it is a new set, but man, is PSA backed up? Like, that's insane. Super great looking card though. This is definitely on my radar. Iconic moment from Dressrosa. A lot going on here, okay? I mean, this card raw is selling for like $250 Canadian right now, so that's about like 200-ish USD. Really nice card. But let's not stop this championship card ride yet because we've got a Chopper card that recently sold for $670 USD, a PSA 10. I mean, again, we've got a pretty low pop count of 527, which is actually quite low in the One Piece TCG. But yeah, what is going on with this card? This is probably the most bizarre looking Chopper card that exists. Hilarious card though, definitely really nice to have in the collection, and the stamp just kind of, adds the authenticity. So definitely something cool to have in the collection. $670, not too bad. Moving on, we have got the Boa SP from OP15, and guys, can I just quickly say that these SPs are incredible. When I pulled the Whitebeard SP, that was the first time I really got a good chance to look at this SP or at the design, and they're different, man. These SPs they're a lot different from the other SPs. It reminds me a lot of the Silver Luffy, to be honest with you. It's got this diamond-esque rainbow kind of like design to it. It's super beautiful. Really, really nice SP. And we've got this boa here sold for $870 USD. Still a very low pop count. Very surprising. I really did think there'd be more by now, but, again, I have heard that PSA is incredibly backed up, so it does explain a lot, but hey, that's incredible. All right, so now we've got a Chopper here. So I've been seeing the gift collection being passed around. This is quite an old card, one of the first, I can't quite remember, this might have been one of the first collections when the One Piece TCG came out. I mean, it's 2023, so definitely old, definitely when the card game was just getting on its feet. People were trying to pump this Chopper before Christmas for obvious reasons, but as you can see, it's got a decent pop count. It's got like 1,179 in total, and only 9 of those are less than PSA 10s, which is interesting. But, you know, really cute card, $500 USD. I mean, you know what? Why not? It's not like you're going to find these cards in the wild very often anymore. At least the Chopper, because every Christmas, I guarantee you, someone is going to be out there trying to pump this card. So, food for thought. Moving on, guys, we've got the Boa SP from EB03. Now, I'll be real with you guys. I really don't think these reprints are going to dramatically affect the prices of the EB03 set at all. I also think these SPs are really unique, and I do think they can stand their own ground. We also need to remember EB sets are just lower print anyways, regardless of a reprint or whatever, which seems to be abysmal from what people are saying. But as we can see here, you know, it's only a 310 PSA pop count in total with 275 of PSA 10s, but $1,600. I mean, crazy. Honestly, this card was selling $1,200-$1,300 raw anyways for the longest time, so I think that's half decent. I think that's a half decent buy. Next up, we've got Mihawk here. Now, you know, I've been kind of saying this again and again. I really think now is the time to buy Mihawk. I think he's most likely bottomed. You know, OP14 feels like it was quite a long time ago, even though it was only just a few months. But, you know, I do think the market has decided that Mihawk's worth around like 1,000-ish bucks. A little more, little less. We've got a PSA 10 here selling for about 1,200 USD. You know, the pop count's all right, 1,700, but yeah, I think overall, if you're looking for some cheap mangas, I mean, Mihawk is a great character. I mean, don't get me wrong. The pose isn't the best, but it's better than getting Bonnie, okay? It's better than Bonnie. You know, you could say it's possibly better than Eustace Kid. Maybe even the not the first manga law, but the second. I mean, it's debatable, right? But personally, I do think this isn't the worst manga in the world. You know, I had people telling me that the recent NL manga card is complete crap, which is totally not a fair assessment. It's a badass card, and NL is a top villain, but I digress. You know, people say one thing and the market says another, right? But yeah, $1,200 USD, pretty interesting buy. I think that's a fair buy there. All right, so moving on, we've got the Uta manga card. Now, the thing with Uta here, right? Like, Uta, not the most popular character. I mean, she's pretty big in Japan, apparently. Like, apparently Uta is, like, massive in Japan. But obviously, for the most of the world, unless you watched film Red, you probably don't care a whole lot besides being like, oh, she's cute, ooh. But EB03, again, I think is going to hold its ground. I mean, we saw with EB02, I mean, the manga Luffy is just, the Gear 2 Luffy is insane. It is Luffy, granted, and then, of course, Chopper. So it's not the most fair comparison, but we do see in general, like the PRB and EB sets, they're just low print, a lot more scarce product. And I think Uta is probably going to hold her weight a bit. I think she's probably going to be above average for a lot of the manga cards. But yeah, this sold for $1,670 USD. You know, EB03's been out for a little bit now, and with only 317 in total, I mean, you know, not that many out there. So definitely an interesting buy. Film Red was decent. I mean, it wasn't the best movie, but, you know, otherwise, I think the card's cool. All right, so this card I've been seeing pass around quite a bit. So it's the Event Pack Volume 2. We got a PSA 10 here. This is an iconic card. You've probably seen the whole Logan Paul thing. You know, here he is. This is the Weekly Shonen Jump of Volume 34 when One Piece first appeared. I mean, like the guy, hate the guy. This is a piece of history right here, and obviously you can see that is the Luffy on the card. Super cool card. I was after this card very early on when I started collecting, and I'm happy I got it for the price I did, because the price for this now is insane. I believe there's a championship card of this as well that's even more expensive, but really iconic looking card. Totally great for the collection. I do think it's going to hold its value, and getting it as a PSA 10 is great. For $720 USD. All right, moving on, we've got the Manga Luffy from OP09. Now, as you guys know, OP09 is a fantastic set. I would compare it to OP05, OP01. I do think OP09 is going to be the next booster box. That's going to start seeing a price jump very soon. I mean, again, Gold Roger's in there. We've got the Four Emperors. I mean, it's a fantastic set. But this sold for almost $4,000 USD. And honestly, probably one of the most iconic Luffys in the entire TCG, next to, you know, the Gear 5 Luffy. This is just such a great Luffy here. I mean, there's a lot going on in the back. We even see a little bit of Gear 5 Luffy in this card as well, which is great. Also, kind of a low PSA pop count, only 1,010. OP09's been around for 2 years now, okay? So that's interesting. Interesting to see that. But definitely a sweet buy there. So I wanted to show these first anniversary Chinese cards. You know, not everyone's into them, but, you know, the Chinese cards are unique. There are some unique qualities about them. I mean, obviously, they have their own style and look to them as well. Yeah, I've seen quite a few of these being bought and passed around. I haven't seen one in person, but I've been half curious to get a few. I know there's a few serialized ones as well. Like there's a serialized Nami I see passed around. Nobody's bought that, but overall, I really do think the Chinese cards are pretty interesting, the first anniversary sets. And, it's sold for $460 USD. I think it's unique. I think the cards look nice. I personally would go for the Luffy or the Sanji or the Nami, but overall, decent buy. Speaking of Nami, we've got a Nami SP from EB03 selling for $1,600 USD. Again, all of these SPs from EB03 got pretty low pop counts, which is, it's very telling. But, $1,600, guys. I mean, look, if you're going to get an SP from that set, get Nami, Boa, or Robin, okay? Koala's great. Perona's great. Tashigi's great. Uda. But listen, no one's really going after them, right? They're going to be the low-hanging fruit. The Boa, Robin, or Nami are obviously going to be the top picks for EB03. So, $1,600, so that's roughly about what? $2,100 Canadian, I think. It's in manga territory, but again, I think it's just going to continue to go in price because they're gorgeous cards. And this was bought April 26th. Sorry, I kind of forgot to read the dates, but these are all recent buys. All right, so here's an interesting one. We've got the Luffy Dodgers card. Now, I remember this card was making waves. People were going crazy. I mean, the whole fiasco that happened at this Dodgers tournament would have been so cool to be a fan to see this. I'm not a huge baseball guy, but it would have been super awesome. They had like a fireworks show or a drone show or something. But, there was about 10,000. It's between 10 to 40,000. I still don't know what the number is because everybody says a bunch of things, but it was between 10 to 40,000 hats/cards were given out to the public. People were losing their minds. The card has maintained its value. I mean, I have to say, the Dodgers are great. They're a really good team. And as long as they continue to do well, I think this card is going to hold its value. There's also a very limited amount of sports cards for the One Piece TCG, and I would argue this is probably the most legitimate one. No one really cares too much about the college basketball one or the soccer one. This is pretty legit, and I do think that as the TCG continues, I do think Bandai and whoever is their strategist behind these type of cards are going to tap into other things. We're seeing One Piece tap into basketball now, so that's going to be super interesting. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but $2,400 USD, interesting buy. Let me know your thoughts about this one. Moving on, we've got the 3rd anniversary winner card, so we're going back to some more championship type cards here, selling for $510 USD. Super solid card. I mean, the artist behind this is the person who created Black Clover, which is super cool, and, I just think it's a really nice card. The design's really interesting for this, too, because there's not a whole lot of texturing, but you see the gold kind of trim coming from the hockey, right? So, and it's a stamped card as well, so definitely really cool. But yeah, you can see here the pop count's all right. We've got a 2,600 pop count, and again, Bandai just showing their quality's top tier. 2018 of them are PSA 10s, so something to consider, but overall, definitely a great card. Now, this one was interesting. So we've got this OP14, just seems to be just a regular alt-art Boa selling for $400 USD, which is kind of insane to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, Boa's great and all, but, not a treasure rare, nothing significant. It's just Boa. So, don't know if people were just losing their minds over this card specifically, but $400 USD. There you have it, folks. Next up, we've got a really interesting card. This is the One Piece Day Dallas Zoro card here. Really cool looking card. The aura from Zoro himself looks fantastic. I'd love to see how this looks in terms of the texturing and stuff, but this sold for $500 USD. And honestly, what makes this interesting is that you had to get it from the One Piece Day in Dallas, right? And we know there's that Luffy card as well, that really popular one with all those forms there on the card. Really cool that they have certain cards like this. I mean, these are unique. There's not going to be a ton of them. I think if you go to these events and you happen to just get one, I'm assuming they're free, they're basically putting money in your pockets. It's always a good buy when you get something that's kind of like a promotion or something, because you're not going to be able to get them from packs. So something to consider. I mean, the pop count's 887, but there's only 688 PSA 10s, so definitely interesting, and this was bought a few days ago on Sunday, so honestly, pretty good buy. Very interesting. Next up, we've got a serialized Shanks. Now, this is one of the first serialized cards that ever came out. You know, it's Japanese, obviously, but we can see here that that has no effect on the price, selling for $3,500 USD. This was number 1545 of 1600. You know, this just goes to show, guys, that if you know the right cards to get, even if they're in Japanese, you can still come out on top. A lot of people saying that Japanese cards are always going to be below the English. I mean, sure, the English cards might be a little more expensive, but that doesn't mean you can't still get a pretty expensive card or investment or whatever when you're looking at these cards. So very interesting buy. Next up, we have got the Wanted poster, the Gear 5 Luffy. Now, obviously, this was going to be a steal from the start. I almost regret not getting this, to be honest with you, because like it's just an iconic poster of Luffy and stuff like that, but it sold for $420 USD. I mean, you know, good card. I think it's good to have overall. $420 USD. Honestly, for a PSA 10 is pretty good. I've seen people try to sell this card for $800-900 raw. So this was a good deal. Just wanted to show Perona. You know, we got a really great Perona SP. I love the SPs, guys. I'm telling you, get SPs. They're gorgeous. They look great in your binder or on your shelf. And I really think they're going to hold the most value next to mangas and Treasure Cup cards. They're just super awesome. And, you know, crazy enough, we've still got a low population count. This is from OP14. 433 in total. But anyways, this sold for $340 USD. Pretty good. Wanted to show another Japanese card here. Now, something interesting that I read, and let me know in the comments below if this is true, but apparently the reason why the Japanese event cards, like the Treasure Cup cards, are significantly lower in price in Japan is because they have a shit ton of events. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that was a comment somebody was making about the Japanese Treasure Cup cards and why they're so cheap usually. But I still think they're pretty unique cards, and I mean, like, you know, a lot of them say for Asia as well, so they kind of have their own unique stamp and stuff like that. But we can see here that we've got the Sanji, you know, Nami looking card here, selling for $745 USD, and they used a coupon, it appears, $695 with a coupon, so it's funny they show you that. But yeah, guys, I mean, overall, pretty interesting, and, you know, regardless of English or Japanese, like, they are still Treasure Cup cards. Obviously, the English will hold its value better, but the Japanese ones are still really cool, and, you know, not everybody can afford a $4,000 card, so fair buy. We've also got a Boa here. Now, this was, somebody bought one of these, and, you know, there's one left to sell, but, yeah, they're selling for $2,800 USD. Boa is definitely one of the more expensive manga cards. I've been after this Boa for a while, and I just can't get my hands on it because it's so expensive. We've also got a PSA 10 of Sabo selling for, well, actually, we've got the best price here, which was what? And it sold for $100 less. Okay, so this sold for basically $12.50. Pretty cheap buy. Sabo's not the most expensive manga card, obviously. He's a cheaper buy, but I think he's great. And honestly, I really like this look. This look reminds me a lot of the OP02 Ace, you know, comparing them to the OP13 Ace and Sabo. Yeah, not too bad. All right, a few last bangers, guys. We've got the SP Shanks from OP11. I mean, people had their thoughts about these ones. I mean, they're okay. You know, they still got the really cool design. But anyways, sold for $300 USD. We've also got a championship pudding card here. Now, this is from 2024. And again, look at the pop count, guys. 420. All right, and this is from 2024. So there's not a whole lot going on here. But this sold for $850 USD, and I actually think that's a pretty good buy. Really nice card as well. And of course, just wanted to show this off too. Somebody bought the collection of all PSA 10 Wanted posters for $1,500 Canadian. I think that's pretty decent. Now they're Japanese, okay? They are Japanese, so you gotta take that into consideration too. But there's also people who really think that the Japanese kind of speaks volumes from the manga itself, like from the original material. So, you know, say what you will about it, but anyways, pretty cool buy. Anyways, guys, there you have it. Those are the most recent sales that have been going on eBay. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below, guys. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. A video should pop on the screen. Be sure to click it, and I will see you over there.